Richard Majewski, and welcome to another edition of Take 10. Take 10 is a service department, corporate housing and global mobility podcast where we seek to offer insights based on informal chat and icebreaker questions to get to know the guests a little better, and followed by a summary of the guest's business so that you can examine potential collaboration. So without further ado, let's meet today's guest. Hi, Markus. Welcome today. Thank you very much for joining us. I really appreciate your time. If you'd like to introduce yourself briefly, please.
Hello, Richard. Good day to everybody. I'm Markus Demuth. I'm German. I live in Munich, and I'm in the relocation and mobility industry for now 31 years.
Wow, that's some time. Perfect. Thank you very much. You're ready to go straight into the icebreaker questions, are you, Markus? Are you ready for this one?
Let's try.
We'll give it exactly. We'll give it a whirl. Okay. My first question, and it's a bit of a leading question. Do you prefer cricket or football? No brainer, I guess, but
football. Honestly, American football right now.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I got into American football myself over the pandemic. So I am by virtue of the people that we connected with, I'm a Steelers fan, a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, apparently.
And Chicago Bears, Denver Broncos.
Is it? Yeah. So we say these things. I don't understand the rules at all, though. I kind of watch and don't know what's going on. So it's American football. But clearly, I didn't expect the answer to be cricket there. But football, Munich. Are we going to go Bayern Munich there?
Well, I'm also a fan of football for sure. And well, my father was a big fan of Eintracht Frankfurt, and I was born in Wiesbaden, nearby Frankfurt. So I'm into Frankfurt and also of FC Bayern München, of course.
Right. Yeah, of course.
If you live in Munich, you have to.
I guess, although there is an alternative, isn't there? I think. What's the other team called? Like 1891 or something? Or what? There's another team in Munich.
München, but it's not an alternative. Not honest. No.
Oh, I was a Manchester City.
Well, they are the Reds. They are the Reds, Bayern München, and they are the Blues. TSV 1860 München, and it's a big fight within the city. But
we're talking
colours. I have to commit. I'm a red one. Yeah,
you're red. Because I'm a blue with Manchester City, and we were bad for a number of years, and now we're okay again. So who knows? It's the same kind of, fortunes may turn. I'd keep you. But Wiesbaden, lovely city, and yeah. I liked it a lot. I went there on holiday once. Comedy or drama?
Drama.
Okay. A lot of people would say that was with that. You see, I've spent quite a lot of time in Germany myself, so a lot of people would say that response would have been expected from a German, in that, like, you talk about comedy. But we've just gone through New Year's Eve, Sylvester, and I know that program that they play every year on New Year's Eve in Germany, Dinner for One.
Yeah, that's excellent. That's outstanding.
Honestly,
of course.
I mean, and yet we don't know it in the UK. It's crazy to think that, isn't it? But of the viewers, then I would recommend that everybody looks that one up. You'll laugh your head off. Are you a person that likes to stay at home or travel?
Well, I love being at home, but I love to travel as well. And I'm traveling a lot for business. And well, it's amazing to learn new countries, new cultures. And I have a little son in the age of 4.5. Therefore, private traveling is a little bit reduced, but we're getting up.
Exactly. It makes it tricky, doesn't it? They do tend to complain about everything. Yeah. No, it's no, I can understand that. In these days where sometimes the cost is not necessarily, I don't think it's too much the same in Germany, actually, with the cost of education. I might be wrong, though, higher education. But the cost of university education in the UK has gone up. Um, what would you say? Do you have a view on higher education as opposed to simply climbing the corporate ladder? I know it's a bit of a heavy question to ask, but do you have any thoughts on that? Because there's an argument to say, yeah, get those qualifications. They might mean something, and they do mean something when you apply for jobs. But have you wasted 3 to 4 years of your life studying when you could have gone into a company and started climbing the corporate ladder? Do you have any
Well,
thoughts on that?
I did a study while I was working. It was 3 hard years.
Yeah,
Well, education in Germany is free of charge, so you can study
yeah,
for free of charge. So that's not the question. Well, we also need people not studying. We need craftsmen. We need, I
yeah,
would say, normal people.
yeah.
They are super important, and I think we have a real lack of craftsmen, and maybe we have a little bit more or too much students. But
Yeah.
that's my personal opinion. Yeah.
Totally, yeah, I can totally understand why you say that because certainly in my day, it was as a student, so that's back a fair few years. I won't admit to how many, but in Germany, you could continue studying for as long as you wanted. I mean, I,
Yes. Yeah.
that bit seemed quite mad at the time. It was free of charge to study in the UK as well, largely speaking. But I was meeting students that were like 10 years older than me, and they'd been studying for ages, and it was just quite fascinating. Yeah,
Mhm.
so that's it. But it's good. I mean, in that, yeah, it's free of charge still, and it's tempting then for people who can live in Germany to apply for German universities sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. A general question, really. Living in the city or the country? So you're living in Munich currently. Lovely
I'm
city, I
living
guess.
in
You
the
get the back.
I'm living in the city of Munich, but in a suburb. So very
Right.
quiet
Mm,
area, with gardens and safe. So it's a
yeah.
good mixture. I prefer living in the countryside.
Yeah.
The city is too loud. Well, Munich is big, but not huge if you compare it to Tokyo or London or Paris.
Mm,
Um, Munich has only in the greater area 3 million people, but I prefer the quiet areas, of course.
yeah, exactly. Especially when you've got the family, and it's nice, like you say, it's safe, which is also very important. And I
Yeah,
guess that Munich, you've got the best of both worlds, and you're quite near to Italy and everywhere, aren't you? And
yeah.
that run through.
And I really like
Um,
the hiking. So the
mm,
Alps are great. You have lakes, you can walk, hike. I'm a fisher,
mm, oh,
so
mm,
fly fisher. Um,
yeah.
yeah,
Nice, nice. Actually, yeah, you're right. Now my mind is drifting into Munich, and I actually did go to watch Manchester City against Bayern Munich many years ago. It was when Tevez was playing for City, and the day afterwards, thought I'd had sufficient beer, to be honest, but I'm sure that it was non-alcoholic beer at half time. I certainly didn't notice anything after I drank this whacking great cup of beer, but I thought I need to catch up on beer consumption, and I think it's a fantastic custom that you've got in Munich of Weisswurst and beer being served, and you've got to drink, you've got to have it by midday. It's kind of like
correct.
brilliant. So I thought,
Officially, you only get it till midday. Yeah.
so I thought that was just. I thought I'd, passed and I landed up in heaven somehow because I was sitting there in a pub just drinking beer for breakfast. Wonderful. But
Hmm.
talking about drinks, and this is the last question, by the way.
Hmm.
Tea or coffee? A tea or a coffee
Coffee,
drinker?
coffee.
Coffee.
Hmm.
Right, interesting. I know that coffee's very popular these days. When I'd never seen so many types of tea on the supermarket shelf before I actually went to Germany for the first time. I didn't know there were that many types of tea. A coffee drinker, yeah. I certainly can't, if I go away from home, I can't do without a coffee. It has to be, I almost die if that coffee machine isn't generating a coffee that I can consume. So you're a coffee drinker. Excellent. I've really enjoyed, asking those questions, chatting, getting your feedback. Would love to hear more about Relo Direct, please. All you can tell us about Relo Direct. Over to you, Markus.
Well, I know Relo Direct as a partner or a customer for 14 years. When I worked at my previous company, which I owned, we were the partner in EMEA. And well, they gave me the chance end of last year. So I'm with Relo Direct now since 1st of November as a VP EMEA. Relo Direct is a nice boutique RMC with offices in the States, in Europe, in Asia, and is owned by Leading RE, the biggest real estate agency network in the world, with thousands of partners across the globe. Well, we are typical RMC, but focused on small and mid-sized companies.
Right. So, global mobility, corporate relocation. I'll be honest, is not an area of great knowledge for me. So I might be asking some really quite naive questions. Your destination service providers. So every single element of relocation, is that sort of outsourced as such, so you can use a DSP according to the obviously destination, but according to the client as well. It's very tailor-made. Is that right?
Absolutely correct. So we have a huge supply chain with hand-selected partners, temporary housing, immigration, moving, destination services, tax, and well, we can choose whoever we want or our customer wants.
Right. And so, and for example, something that's fascinated me in the past has been as one of those elements, cultural integration, and then reintegration when coming back into the home country, whatever, if that's the right way of describing it. So all of those elements, then you can outsource. You simply go to people.
Absolutely. Repatriation is also a service we provide, and it's super important and always underestimated. Always underestimated.
Absolutely. I remember a story once where they were saying, because as it's like with the UK, we drive on the other side of the road, and the I didn't say the wrong side, did you notice? And the problem with UK drivers, it would seem, going into Europe was not so much when you go into Europe, because you're focusing so much on what you don't want to do, which is drive on the usual side, but it's when you come back and your brain's stopped and you're driving on the other side of the road all of a sudden. Like you say, very kind of underestimated and I suppose also when children are involved, it's very important as well. I always think.
Yeah, and sometimes it's super hard to get reintegrated in your old company, in the old structure.
Right.
Yeah, that's tricky.
Good point. So, in the kind of I can't think of another way to express it other than food chain, really, of with whom you work. So obviously then you have a company that comes to Relo Direct. It's my understanding of Relo Direct that there is, what would you say, a higher degree of consultancy with it from Relo Direct, that it's focused on kind of like the needs and what have you. It's very much a hand-holding service. So you've got the corporate client that comes to you regarding relocation. You then need those different services, and you contact your connections specifically with service departments. Then would you contact do you have the time, do your people have the time to and by the way, you're allowed to say pass on all these questions, because I do appreciate it's kind of new. So, but would you have the time to contact service department companies directly, or do you think, you put it through a middleman? Yeah, you put it through an agency. Right. Interesting. Okay. And it's always that without question, I can tell. Yeah, interesting. Because from this side, it would seem that RMCs are getting kind of closer to the sector, that service department sector. But yeah, there's still that vital role, isn't there? And you still need to be able to. Is that, do you think, because you expect? I was speaking to somebody about this yesterday. It's almost like not passing the responsibility on, but different people take the different responsibility. You don't have time to assess whether that apartment is safe and everything else, and you expect
we are not the
your
experts.
partners.
We can't be the expert in every single city on this planet. Therefore, we're using companies, middlemen, and sometimes we have customers with a need of 1,000 accommodations a year, and therefore it's leave it with the experts. I think it's always the best choice.
Exactly. No, good, excellent. Thank you for that. All right. Well, really, really, fascinated actually to hear more about the global mobility world and the shape of it. I find it fascinating every time I speak about it. Is there? We're kind of wrapping up now. Are there any messages or anything else that you'd like to say to the viewers? Maybe how they contact you, not necessarily the contact details, although you're very welcome to mention those. But are there any final messages that you would like to send to viewers regarding perhaps even the services that you would like to be offering? Anything really? Any thoughts on that?
Well, feel free to contact us. Feel free to contact me. I'm responsible for the EMEA region. I can be the middleman for business in the US. We would be happy to help you. You see our web address already, relodirect.com, and I'm also available on LinkedIn.
Perfect. Thank you very much. I was struggling there to find that other what I've just put on the screen there. No, perfect. Thank you very much indeed, Markus. So we'll now play the outro. Don't go away, and we'll speak in a minute. But thank you for taking part in Take 10, and thank you, the viewers,
Thank you,
for
everybody.
watching.
Thank you.
Thank you.